It's been impressive. I mean, it's something that we continuing to be, impressed at. Morocco has been hit by the pandemic, the times of trade shock from the Russia war in Ukraine, the droughts, now the earthquake, and has been doing well in them. Well, Morocco decided to launch a new season of reforms starting in 2021. As you know, I think the reforms that have been announced are really important. This generalization of the social protection, it's key. I mean, you know better than I do that about 20 plus million of Moroccans were without healthcare coverage. And it's kind of an impossible situation to imagine that it's going to persist. So this idea of extending healthcare coverage to everybody, but just asking for a little bit of a contribution, goes in the right direction. The education reform that's been launched, of course, go in the right direction. The reform of the state-owned enterprises, the measures to boost private investment, the Mohamed VI Fund, the Charter d'Investissement, they're all important steps. I guess what really Morocco needs is to develop a private sector, a more dynamic private sector, and in order to do that, they also need essentially to create the conditions for more human capital, as we discussed today and we're discussing in the future, to participate to that new model of development that's been discussed here. Well, I'll say in terms of challenges, water scarcity. Probably right now it's one of the biggest challenges that Morocco has. I mean, 3 years of droughts have kind of depleted a lot of the water resources in the country. And the government, the authorities have a massive infrastructure plan, building 9 desalination plants, building infrastructure pipelines that bring water from one part of the country to the other one. They just finished the l'autoroute de l'eau, for example, building more recycling water. It's a huge infrastructure plan. The fund, how can the fund help? Well, together with the challenge, there's also opportunities, because Morocco has a huge potential in solar and wind renewable energy, especially in the south. And there's going to be a lot of investment. There could be a lot of investment, private investment also in particular, in this area. How the fund can help? We just approved a program, a loan, to Morocco 2 weeks ago. It's called Resilience and Sustainability Facility, 1 billion and 300 million, which is going to help fund the needs, the financing needs that come with both responding to the water scarcity and exploiting the potential in solar and wind energy. And of course, being the IMF, we're going to be helping Morocco in capacity development with our surveillance activities, not just the financing of the government. It's been impressive. I mean, it's something that we continuing to be, impressed at. Morocco has been hit by the pandemic, the times of trade shock from the Russia war in Ukraine, the droughts, now the earthquake, and has been doing well in terms of. I mean, of course, there's been inflation increasing, growth slowdown, unemployment increasing. There's been, of course, effects on people, on the real economy. But if you look at the financial, the macro, let's say, as we call it, I mean, current account deficit hasn't increased. It's actually been compressed. Fiscal deficit has come down from after the COVID. Inflation has come down, and the central bank has responded, and now inflation is slowing pretty rapidly. So in terms of the macro, Moroccan economy has been very, very resilient, more than we expected, really. And that really, it's a testimony of the reforms that they paid off, the reforms that were done in the past, and a relatively conservative approach to the macro framework of the country, which is paying off in terms of stability and resilience. Well, the risk is that there's going to be another terms of trade, another increase in commodity prices from the uncertain evolution of the global economy, given the circumstances. That's going to be a challenge, especially on the inflation side. I mean, droughts. I mean, hopefully there's not going to be another drought. We don't expect so in, next year, but unfortunately the risk is there. And inflation may be a little bit stickier, especially if this happened, to come down, which may be a little bit of an issue in terms of maybe inducing a little bit more of a response from the central bank. These are the issues we need to take care of and we need to think about for the next months.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Cardarelli.
Thanks.
Have a
Bye-bye.
nice day.